Good afternoon, dear students. Although this was an all in all interactive session on the poem Keeping Quiet, but since the recorder this time recorded only my voice, so you can just go through the material for your reference and the clarification of your doubts on the literary devices and extra questions related to the poem Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda, the third poem in your book Flamingo, class 12. A very good afternoon to everybody. We shall today revise this poem, Keeping Quiet, the third poem of your syllabus, written by Pablo Neruda. We have already done it. You would, okay, Ronit, okay, fine. So, see, this poem, we are going to have, before I forget, we are going to have a test on the first three poems. Elementary school classroom in Islam, My Mother at 66, and this one, Keeping Quiet, on the fourth Saturday. Okay, the rest of the details would be shared with you people later on. And please revise them thoroughly, and everybody has to appear in the test. Okay, so this particular poem by Pablo Neruda, it's basically a call for introspection. It is a call for introspection for all the human beings who have divided themselves on the basis of what? Yes, what else? Only on the basis of language? I had asked you to revise on the basis of race, class, on the basis of class, language, race, what else? Yes, yes. So basically, what is the point asking us to do? To sit still and to be silent. And what does he say? What can be achieved in these moments of silence? What can be achieved by remaining silent? Not Malvika, somebody else. Malvika won't be giving the answer to each and every question. Yes. What is our basic aim, what we are doing in our lives, and we can actually create a feeling of there has to be a strength of humanity, and that can be created only if we meditate, if we introspect, and if we remain silent for a few moments. So this poem, as we have discussed already, it's written by Pablo Neruda, which is the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reis Pesualto, who was born in the town of Parral in Chile, and his poems are full of easily understood images which make them no less beautiful. And he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. And in this poem, he talks about necessity of quiet introspection. Vishwajit, can you just mute your mic, please? Vishwajit. Necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings, a feeling of universal brotherhood, creating a strength of humanity, and understanding what our aim in life actually is. So, do you want me to repeat the entire poem, or we can just discuss important questions and I can take up your doubts? Do you think we should? Yes. We have done it in detail. We have done it in detail. So we'll discuss important questions, and also I'll take up your doubts if you have any. Okay. And see, a message has come from the department and from the school authorities also, as I put it in your group 2, that anybody can come to school anytime, because the teachers are put on duty on every alternate day. And teachers are always there, and if you have any doubts, if you want to take some guidance from teachers, you can come, but the only thing is you have to inform your teacher well in advance. For example, my class section students, they have to inform me or their respective subject teacher, okay, so that we know in advance who all are coming. So you just have to get a parental consent, and you can come for guidance, right? Before we discuss the questions, we need to discuss the literary devices that are used in the poem. Let's discuss those. I'll share some content with you, which I've already shared with you, but let's just revise literary devices used in the poem. Okay. Yes. So, is it visible to everybody? okay, we shall discuss all these devices, and then we'll discuss some important questions. Now the first stanza says, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. The first literary device that has been used is assonance. And what is assonance? It is a literary device in which we have repetition of similar vowel sounds. आपको पता है what is alliteration? What is alliteration? What is the difference? Malika, रुक जाओ. What is the difference between assonance and alliteration? Can somebody else just respond? Yes, repetition of vowels, and that is repetition of consonants. Okay, alliteration, in alliteration we have repetition of consonants, or the first not just the first alphabet. It can be, alliteration can be in the towards the end of the word also, or in the middle of the word also, but most of the examples of alliteration we find in the beginning of the word. Okay, so it is a literary device in which repetition of similar vowel sounds takes place in 2 or more words in proximity, just when the words are placed just next to each other. Okay, in proximity to each other within a line of poetry or within a line of prose. We have alliteration not only assonance not only in poetry but in prose as well. So O and E use of these vowel sounds in the following line is an example of assonance. Now we will count to 12, not move our arms so much. So if we see, we have so many O's, okay, and so many E's. Okay, so this is an example of which literary device? Yes, assonance. Okay, and then we have anaphora. Anaphora is again a literary device that features repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive sentences or phrases or clauses. So these are 2 successive, one after the other. Okay, 2 consecutive lines. एक line है, उसके बाद जो second line है, and we have both the lines starting with the word let's. Let's not speak in any language. Let's just stop for 1 second. So this is a rhetorical device. This is a poetic device. This is a literary device which features repetition of word और repetition of a phrase. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे तो word की repetition है, किसी phrase की भी repetition हो सकती है एक sentence में, उसके बाद second sentence में same phrase or same clause or same word in the beginning of the sentences, consecutive sentences. So that is anaphora. Okay. Then alliteration, everybody knows, it's a repetition of the same consonant sounds at the beginning of words that are mostly at the beginning of words that are in close proximity to each other, and it brings attention to the lines in which it is used, and it creates more oral rhythm, auditory rhythm. Okay. So that this is alliteration. Fine. V, will, W sound, and there are so many examples of alliteration. Can you find out more examples of alliteration in this poem? देखो और बताओ. If you look at the last line of the first page, man gathering sound would look at his hurt hands. Yes, hurt hands. So repetition of H. That is again alliteration. And then sudden strangeness. Yes, very good. And then do we? Yes. Yes. Clean clothes. Yes. Then all these are examples of alliteration. Then we have pun. Puns are very popular literary device wherein a word is used in a manner to suggest 2 or more possible meanings. A single word is used in a manner which suggests 2 meanings of the same word or more possible meanings, more than 2. This is generally done to the effect of creating humor or to the effect of creating irony. Puns can also refer to words that suggest meanings of similar sounding words. Now, similar sound, arms can mean hands, and arms can also mean weapons. So this, the literary device used here is pun. So where do we have, in which stanza do we have this? Hanji. Hanji pura. So how is it a pun? Can anyone just explain how is pun used in the word arms? Let's not move our arms so much. Yes, bolo. Use weapons. Yes, very good. So it is definitely an example of pun, and the poet suggests he makes a request to us to stop the use of our arms. That means and with arms, not only the physical body part, but also it means we should stop. There should be peace in the world. Peace should prevail in the world, and that can only happen if we stop using weapons. If we don't indulge in any kind of wars. Okay. Then let's move on to the second stanza. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Again, alliteration. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Alliteration. Alliteration. We know this literary device already. Sudden strangeness, S sound is repeated. So when you are asked in your exams to find out the literary device, you will write we would and you will underline W's. Both the W's here, okay, and both the S's and then both the H's, okay. We would look at his hurt hands. The H sound is repeated. Then symbols. Symbolism is again a literary device that contains several layers of meaning, often concealed at first sight. The meanings are hidden at first sight and is representative of several other aspects, concepts or traits than those that are visible in the literal translation alone. So symbolism means that the meaning is hidden and it is concealed, and if you look at the sentence for the first time, then you might the sentence might appear to be different to you, but it might have many hidden meanings. Symbol is using an object or action that means something more than its literal meaning. So you have to look beyond the literal sense of the word, a line or a phrase or a sentence. For example, cold sea. What does it symbolize? It symbolizes the polar region as well. Okay. Then third stanza is those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. Again, preparation was with the gas, wars with fire. This is alliteration. W sound, clean clothes. C sound is repeated. Assonance, use of vowel O. Victory with no survivors. Would put on. So if you see in this one single sentence, there's so many O's repeated. Okay, and a walk about with it. So this repetition of this vowel sound O, it is an example of the poetic device assonance. Repetition, as you know, if any word is repeated, then war, wars with gas, wars with fire. Repetition of the use of the word war is an example of repetition. Fourth stanza, if we are not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Alliteration तो पता ही आपको, we were so single-minded. SS and WW. Another new literary device for you is enjambment. Enjambment is a term which is used in poetry to refer to lines that end without punctuation and without completing a sentence or a clause. तो कोई भी पोइट्री में आपकी लाइन्स हैं जिनमें जो पंक्चुएशन के बिना खत्म हो रही है या बिना सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन के खत्म हो रहा है, क्लॉज के खत्म हो रहा है, दैट इज enjambment. For once could perhaps a huge, so this is enjambment. ठीक है, यहाँ पे कोई punctuation mark नहीं है, कोई कुछ नहीं है, and the sentence is just going on and on and on. Okay, so this is an example of enjambment. Fine. Then we have fifth sentence. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. Antithesis, you have heard of this device earlier also. It means, literally means, anti means opposite. So it is a poetic device, it is a rhetorical device in which two opposite ideas, they are placed together in a sentence to achieve a contrasting effect. So what are the two opposite ideas that are placed in this stanza? Dead and alive. So these are opposite ideas and they create a contrasting effect. So this is an example of antithesis. So there's so many new poetic devices that you've read today. One is assonance, then is anaphora, and then is enjambment. Pun आपने पहले भी सुना हुआ है. Symbolism आपको पता है. And So these are the antithesis भी आपने सुना होगा. Okay. So these are some of the poetic devices that are used in this. So please revise the poems thoroughly and prepare well for the test. Now we'll discuss some questions. Okay. Okay, first of all, tell me if there's any line in the poem that anybody has not followed. If anything you want me to repeat. कुछ आप कोई line कोई stanza repeat करना चाहते हो वो मैं कर देती हूँ, उसके बाद हम discuss करेंगे. Yes. Anybody? हाँ जी. No, just okay. Just a minute, Pavneet. Somebody asked a question. Ronit said no. That is not oxymoron. Antithesis is not oxymoron. Oxymoron क्या होता है बेटा? ऑक्सीमोरॉन क्या होता है? एंटीथीसिस में बेटा से द वर्ड्स आर नॉट प्लेस्ड टुगेदर कंसेक्टिवली. ठीक है, अगर आप ये लाइन पढ़ो, which line are we talking? Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. Life and death. So these words are not placed one after the other. These are used in two different lines, two consecutive lines, but they are not placed in close proximity to each other. Oxymoron क्या होता है? What is oxymoron? When two contrasting ideas, two contrasting totally opposite words are placed next to each other. For example, which are totally opposite in meaning. बताओ oxymoron को example बताओ, इतनी बार किया है हमने ये. Yes. हाँ, dark light वो इकट्ठे होंगे ना बेटा words, वो तो एक के बाद एक होंगे. They would be placed very next to each other in the same line and one after the other. ठीक है. एंटीथीसिस में ऐसा नहीं है. एंटीथीसिस में दो कंट्रास्टिंग आइडियाज वो प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, बट द वर्ड्स आर नॉट प्लेस्ड नेक्स्ट टू ईच अदर. वो दो लाइंस में हो सकते हैं, जैसे लाइफ एक लाइन में, डेथ अगली लाइन में. ठीक है, गॉट इट रोनित? सो दीज आर टोटली डिफरेंट लिटरेरी डिवाइसेस. ऑक्सीमोरॉन एंड एंटीथीसिस आर नॉट द सेम. हाँ जी, अब पवनीत बोलो. आई वॉन्ट नो ट्रक विद डेथ. आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे. हाँ. बेटे लाइन बोलो, लाइन मुझे बताओ कौन सा स्टैंजा है. लाइफ इज व्हाट इट इज अबाउट, आई वांट नो ट्रक विद डेथ. ये लाइन बोलो ना, पेज नंबर 96 पे. दिस इज हाँ ठीक है. हाँ, इसमें क्या कंफ्यूजन क्या है आपको बताओ. वी हैड डिस्कस्ड इट इन डिटेल. मेरे को चलता है आपने शायद मेरी तब वो क्लासेस नहीं अटेंड की थी. हाँ जी, कोई बताएगा मुझे, मेरी क्लास का कोई बच्चा? दिस इज वेरी सिंपल थिंग. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Anybody? Raise your hands. Yes, Alam, bolo. Yes. So he doesn't want life to come to a standstill. He's not advocating silence as in being lazy or being sluggish. He wants us to get ourselves involved in constructive activities. And if you introspect, if you meditate, that doesn't mean that you just lie down and you just relax and you be lazy. कि अब तो ठीक है, पोएट ने हमें ये बोला कि ठीक है हमें इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करनी है, मेडिटेट करना है, हमने कुछ नहीं करना. ठीक है. So he says that total inactivity means you don't do anything at all. ठीक है. Then if you will not do anything at all, then what would happen? The life would come to a dead end. Life would come to a standstill. So he is not advocating that. He is not voicing his opinion in favor of being lazy or being sluggish and not doing anything and not being inactive. What is he advocating? He says we should meditate and we should have some constructive thoughts in our minds, because life is what it is about. Life is an ongoing process. It is related with the next line also. Life is an ongoing process. Got it, Pavneet? Okay बच्चे, और पूछो, किसी ने कुछ पूछना है? Any line that you have not followed? Anything that anybody has not followed? हाँ जी कशिश बोलो बच्चे. इफ हाँ बता रही हूँ, इसी के आगे है ना ये. So he says if we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving. What is being single minded? What are human being single minded about? किस चीज के बारे में हम सोचते रहते हैं सारा टाइम? हम किसके बारे में? fulfilling, yes, and this is a priority for them, and fulfilling the needs in the name of so-called advancement, in the name of so-called progress that we think we are making. So what are we doing in this, by being single-minded, by being by making efforts in the name of so-called advancement and progress? हम क्या करें? इसका consequence क्या हो रहा है? Become busy, and our whole life has become like we become like machines, mechanized हो गया सारा process. ठीक है? So what are we doing? And in the name of progress we are heading towards what? Because there is so much of rat race, because there is so much of competition, because we have made our lives mechanized, we are heading towards a path of destruction, towards a path of doom, and we have no peace with ourselves. So if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving का मैंने आपको भी यही बताया है, that we have become so busy in our lives that we are just moving towards a path of doom and destruction in the name of so-called advancement and progress. And we have no peace in our lives, we have no peace with ourselves or with our fellow beings, and in the name of this, there's just rat race, there's just mad race for the so-called competition that is there in our lives. Okay, so if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, so for once could do nothing का मतलब फिर वो inactivity नहीं है. Nothing का मतलब ये है to just introspect and to just have constructive thoughts in those moments. When you introspect, जब आप self analyze करते हो, तो उन moments में क्या होता है? उन moments में जब introspect करोगे, introspection का मतलब क्या है? आप ये देखोगे कि आप what harm you are causing to yourself and what harm you are causing to nature by your actions, and to the others by your action, and to mankind by your actions. So what would we realize in those moments of self-analysis, or in those moments of meditation or introspection? That we need to strengthen our relationships, we need to have universal brotherhood with the fellow beings. ठीक है? Got it? अब समझ आ गया आपको? कशिश? What is the sadness of never understanding ourselves? Let me just put up some questions to you people, and not just Malvika or Alam or Vishwajit or Khushpreet would respond. I want some others also to respond. I'd ask you to come prepared to revise this poem thoroughly. Revision का मतलब ये नहीं है ना बेटा कि मैं हर एक चीज आपको दोबारा से, अगर मैं तो सारी poem आपको दोबारा करवा दूंगी, I can do it, I have no problems, but again the result would be the same. जब आपसे मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी फिर आंसर वही 2-3-4 बच्चे ही देंगे, so उसका फायदा कुछ नहीं है. We can do the same chapters, you can do the same poems n number of times and with the similar responses. Only a handful of students responding in the class. So what is the point of doing the things again and again? Anji, what is this sadness of never understanding ourselves? What do you mean by this line? So because of this rat race, mad race that we were talking about earlier towards materialism, what has happened? We are emotionally becoming bankrupt. We are not able to fulfill our emotional needs. So that is the meaning of sadness of never understanding ourselves. So the human beings, they do not, man does not understand himself. He cannot fulfill his emotional needs, and therefore he is becoming sad. He remains depressed, and he remains lonely and isolated. Okay. And how has man threatened himself with death? And of threatening ourselves with death, there is a line towards the end of the second stanza on page 96. How has man threatened? What do you mean by this phrase, threatening yourself with death? What do you mean by this? Yes. So these are the actions, these are unthoughtful actions in the name of progress. ठीक है? ये pollution किसकी वजह से बढ़ी है? हमको तो ये लग रहा है कि हम progress कर रहे हैं, we are advancing towards progress, but we have not thought about the consequences of our actions. So these consequences, what have they resulted in? They have had a great devastative effect on the nature, on our surroundings. So the threat of death is there, and it is looming large upon man because of his own selfish interest, because of his own actions and his own deeds. Okay. Okay, then if we look at the second last stanza, perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead. Very important stanza this is. And later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I'll go. What can the earth teach us, according to the poet? What is it that the earth teaches us? Learn from earth. So lesson, what is the lesson? Basically, is a lesson of, he's teaching us a lesson of preservation and a lesson of resurrection. Okay, preserving and resurrecting life. Okay, so आपने phoenix का example सुना होगा, how the bird emerges from the ashes of the dead remains. So यहाँ पे भी वो यही बोल रहा है, as when everything seems dead. Everything seems dead का मतलब क्या है? What do you mean by, if we look at the earth from a distance, everything seems dead. Seems dead का मतलब क्या होता है? Seems का मतलब क्या है? विश्वजीत, seems dead मतलब है, वो दिखती, लाइफ दिखती है कि स्टिल हो गई है, लाइफ दिखती है कि वो लाइफलेस है, पर वो ऐसा नहीं है ना, ऐसा वो नहीं होता. So that is why he says everything seems dead but later proves to be alive. So on the face of it, it might appear still, it might appear dead, but it is not dead because it proves alive. And here you can give the example of the spring season and the winter season. In winter season everything appears to be dormant, but it is not dead because it comes back to full bloom, full life the moment the spring season sets in. Okay, so we observe old life giving way to the new life, and so this is the everlasting process of earth that keeps on and on and on going. Yes. Seed in soil, yes, this can be example. Yes, seed in the soil which appear to be basically appear to be dormant, but then they come alive. ठीक है, तो जो, and then he says, explain, you keep quiet and I will go. What is the significance of this last line? Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. क्या मतलब है ये? Why does he say significance of this last line? What is the importance of this last line? बताओ. Message is already, yes, Guru is right. Message has already been conveyed. He has achieved his aim. His aim was to bring through this idea to all the people that what can be achieved through meditation, what can be achieved through silence and introspection. And he feels that now his message has been conveyed, and people have actually by sitting silent they can experience ecstatic joy, and it can be an exotic moment for all. Rohit Singh इस time पे क्यों join कर रहा है, ठीक है? And there would be rejuvenation of thoughts, and there would be change of mindset of the people, and for that they need to introspect. They need to meditate it. उन्हें सिर्फ सुनना नहीं है, उनको ये actual process करना पड़ेगा. And for that the poet has to leave and he has to let the people or the readers do the needful. That is meditate or introspect or be silent. ठीक है? Got it? In this line, life is what it is all about. Life is what the third last stanza, the third line. Life is what it is all about. How is keeping quiet related to life? Can anyone just tell me? Just focus on this line. Then how is keeping quiet related to life? Keeping quiet को आप life से कैसे relate करोगे? Life is what it is about का मतलब है life is an ongoing process. So how is keeping quiet related to life? Yes. So yes, they can examine their thoughts, they can review their actions, so it gives them time to think about themselves, their deeds, their actions. Yes, Vishwajit, you want to add on something? Vishwajit. Yes, to understand what we are doing, and by keeping quiet you can get time to think about your actions and to understand yourselves. Okay, so and then if you look at the first page, when he says it would be an exotic moment, what would be an exotic moment for the poet? And how would it be an exotic moment? He says it would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. And what would be that exotic moment, and how would it be an exotic moment? Batao. In strange, why? Because this thing had never happened before, and exotic moment, why? Because there would be peace, there would be brotherhood and strength of humanity would be observed in that moment. Okay, without rush, without engines का क्या मतलब है? Somebody else has to respond now. Let's add on to this. Without rush, without engines. Okay, she's right when she says without getting involved in the hustle bustle of life. Then what? What is there should be universal silence, and we should just for some time we should just keep ourselves away from this so-called race for advancement, so-called race for progress, because we can have peace in our lives only when this thought goes away from our mind, the thought of so-called advancement and progress. Okay. So what does he mean when he says let's not speak in any language? In this line, when he says fourth line of your poem, the second stanza, for once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Why is he advocating that we should not speak in any language? What is the reason for that? Yes, Alam. This is the most important thing that he wants. He is advocating that there should be no barriers, and only then universal brotherhood can be achieved. So, and language always creates barriers. It creates a feeling of chauvinism, linguistic chauvinism, that we have already read out in one of the chapters, also the very first chapter. So that is where he says advocating let's not speak in any language. Okay. I think that would be all for this poem. What does count up to 12 imply? What is the meaning of this? The line, now we will count up to 12. हाँ जी विश्वजीत बोलो. ये मतलब है, ठीक है, you can say 12 may stand for 12 hours of a day, or hours on a clock, or hours on a clock. Basically it can also mean months in a year. Introspect ourselves, and we should think about the deeds and actions that we have done. Okay, so that is all about this poem. So revise the 3 poems thoroughly, submit your assignment to me by Thursday, and next week Saturday we would have your test. Fine. And I'm repeating it again, those students who want to come to school, they can come on any day. Fine, they can come on any day, and just you need to inform me. My class students need to inform me, or you can just inform your class teachers. For example, if you have some doubts about accountancy or business studies or any other subject, so you can inform your subject teacher too. And see, because teachers are there at school, and every day we have one or the other teacher of your subject at school. So if you have any doubts, you need any guidance, you can be there to ask them. The only thing is you have to get the parental consent. Okay, discuss this question also. 12 indicates time of human activity that the poet wishes to put to rest. Okay, this is also one of the interpretations. Or kuch, somebody else had also written something. It may be because after 12 o'clock a new day starts. It will count as 0 o'clock, and then again. Yes, this you can interpret, because see, poetry you can have any interpretation. It is how you see it, how you see the line, how you visualize it, but you have to give justification for your interpretation. Like she said, maybe because after 12 o'clock a new day starts. So we are not talking about 12 hours. He's not talking about 12 hours. He's talking about the hours on a clock. अगर जब हम hours देखते हैं क्लॉक पे, तो वो हमें सिर्फ 12 ही दिखते हैं, वो हमें 24 नहीं दिखते हैं. Or you can say months of a year, and after that time what a new day or a new month starts it. So it is how you interpret things. और बोलो, और क्या बोल रहे थे? Somebody else was saying something about this. This is one of the other interpretations. Yes, the regulators of our destiny are 12 zodiac signs. Yes, very good. Or how is keeping quiet? How does keeping quiet affect? बच्चे ये तुम्हारे तो grammatical errors बहुत हैं. How does keeping quiet affect those and the soldiers on the battlefield? हाँ बोलो. How would it affect the soldiers? It would affect all those who indulge themselves in wars, because if they will keep quiet, if they will introspect, that will definitely put an end to all the wars that are there. So there would be universal brotherhood, there would be peace only if you be quiet, and only if you introspect. ठीक है, जब हाँ. Yes. So we had missed out one important stanza. Wars with green wars with gas, and wars with fire. So green wars is man is fighting a war not only with the others but also with the nature. Green wars is war with nature, and then wars with fire का मतलब क्या है? What do you mean by wars with fire? Wars with the nuclear weapons, the chemical wars, सब कुछ आएगा इसमें, ठीक है, with bombs. Yes, so everything comes to a dead end after this. There's a lot of death, there is a lot of destruction, and when he says that victory with no survivors, this is a very important line. Victory with no survivors means victory of knowledge, victory of scientific knowledge, but no survivors left to enjoy, to celebrate that victory. Okay, and what would happen when men put on clean clothes? As Vishwajit had just said, that if they would put on clean clothes, that means they would have a fresh outlook towards the others with whom they were fighting earlier. Okay, so they would put an end to all the destructive activities that they were involved in earlier. Okay, so what lesson would he learn when he just walks about with his brothers doing nothing? Doing nothing doesn't mean just being lazy or sluggish. Doing nothing means putting an end to the destructive activities. Yes, destructive activities. Okay, so mankind would heal by doing nothing. Doing nothing को आप inverted commas में लिखोगे, because it doesn't mean inactivity, but it means putting an end to all your destructive thoughts and activities. Okay, so this is all about this poem. If there's anything else that you would like to ask, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll just put an end to the meeting. जो भी आपके किसी भी सब्जेक्ट्स में डाउट है बेटा, अकाउंटेंसी, बिजनेस स्टडीज, इंग्लिश, इकोनॉमिक्स और बाकी आर्ट्स के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो भी, सो यू कैन एनी टाइम कम टू स्कूल. आपका टाइम शायद 9 to 11:30 होता है. उसके बाद 11th का टाइम होता है 12 to 2:30. सो उस टाइम के बीच में आप आ जाओ एंड बट जस्ट गेट द पेरेंटल कंसेंट. ओके, that is what is required. If there are no doubts, then should I just put the meeting to an end? Okay, then have a good day and just take care of yourselves. Okay, bache, bye. Okay, bye.